Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Hope you will be fine. Today I am again in front of you with a new lesson, and this lesson is about the use of comparative, that how comparatives can be used in different type of sentences. So let's start our lesson. Use of comparatives. To compare the difference between two people, things or events, use comparative plus than. Always remember, whenever you want to compare the difference between two people, things, events, etc., you will use this formula for comparison. This is comparative or second degree plus than. Now these are examples. We are comparing Mount Everest, the difference between Mount Everest with Mount blank. So we will use Mount Everest is higher plus than Mount blank. This is the second degree or comparative, and this is than. We have used ER after high because high it has only one unit. So we will use ER after it to make its comparative. Mount Everest is higher than Mount blank. Second example, a car is more expensive than a bicycle. A car is more expensive. More expensive. This is comparative plus than a bicycle. Now the two nouns are being compared. The difference between these two nouns are being compared, car and bicycle. That car is more expensive than a bicycle. Now why we have used more over here? Because it has more than two units, expensive. So we will use more before it to make its comparative. Next example, Thailand is more sunnier than Norway. Now the difference between Thailand and Norway's weather is being compared. So we will use more sunnier than plus than Norway. Thailand is sunnier than Norway. Okay, why we have used ER after sunnier? Sunny, because sunny it has only one unit, and I told you that whenever any adjective ends with Y, you will use ER after it. You will cross I instead of I, you will use you will cross Y, and instead of Y you will use I. So the sunny, it will be converted into sunnier for making its comparative. So Thailand is sunnier than Norway. This is the formula. Look at the last one example. Shehzad is more intelligent than Shiraz. More intelligent. Intelligent, it is comparative plus than. Now look at intelligent, how many syllable or how many units are there? Intelligent, there are 4 units. So we have used more before it. Always remember that when we use ER after first degree of adjective or simple adjective, we will make its comparative by using ER. Like high, we have used ER and it is converted into comparative higher. Similarly, this was sunny, we have used ER after it and it is converted into sunnier, the comparative. Now more than one units, they will never be converted into second degree by using ER or EST, but we will use more before it. Why? Because much or many, this is the first form of the verb. More, it is the second form of the verb, and most, it is the third form of the verb. So when we use more before simple adjective, it means we have converted it into second degree, because more is the second degree of much and many. Much and many, this is the first degree of adjective. More, it is the second degree of adjective. Most, it is the third degree of adjective. So whenever we use more before simple adjective, it means we have converted it into second degree. Now I think it would be clear to you. Now students, this is another formula to make the comparison between two nouns, or show the difference between the two nouns. Less plus adjective plus than. This is another formula. Less plus adjective plus than. You will use less plus the first degree of the adjective plus than. How? The examples are: Mrs. Bilal is less intelligent than Mr. Bilal. Less intelligent, less plus adjective plus than. Now, if you want to make the, change the sentence, you can say that Mr. Bilal is more intelligent than Mrs. Bilal. So, instead of more, if you want to convert this sentence, you can use more instead of less. Mrs. Bilal is less intelligent than Mr. Bilal. It means Mr. Bilal is more intelligent than Mrs. Bilal. Similarly, the next example: Shiraz is less interesting than Shehzad. Less interesting plus than. Less interesting. Shiraz is less interesting than Shehzad. It means Shehzad is more interesting than Shiraz. Next example: a bicycle is less expensive than a car. Less expensive plus than. A bicycle is less expensive than a car. It means that a car is more expensive than a bicycle. The next example: Alia is less beautiful than Shazia. Less beautiful. Less plus adjective plus than. It means Shazia is more beautiful than Alia. So in this way we can also use, we can also make comparative sentences. Less plus adjective plus than. 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 This is another way of making comparative sentences. And always remember, as I taught you, that more, it is the second degree of much and many, and the third degree of more is most. Similarly, less is also the second degree of little. Little, it is the second degree, and less first degree, and less, it is the second degree, and least, it is the third degree of little. Little, less, least. So whenever we use less before a simple adjective, it means we have converted into comparative. Hope it will be clear to you. Now proceed toward the next comparison. Now this is another formula for making the comparison. To compare people, places, events, things, etc., when there is no difference in them, use as plus adjective plus than. Before this we have practiced that how the comparison is made when you want to show difference between two nouns. Now if the two nouns are similar, how you can write the sentence for showing that there is no difference between the two nouns. You can use this formula: as adjective plus as. It means first as plus first degree of adjective plus as. Examples: Moscow is as cold as St. Petersburg in the winter. As cold as. Now look at this sentence: Moscow is as cold as St. Petersburg in the winter. Now it means that the weather of the Moscow and Petersburg is similar in the winter. There is no difference. So we will compare these two weathers in this way. This formula will be used: as, adjective, as. Naila is as happy as Farhan. As plus adjective plus as. Now this is adjective. Naila is as happy as Farhan. It means there is no difference between the happiness of both Naila and Farhan. Third example, Einstein is as famous as Darwin. It means the both persons are famous. There is no difference between their femininity. So Einstein is as famous as Darwin. The last example, a tiger is as dangerous as a lion. As plus adjective plus as. It means there is no difference between lion and tiger. They are both dangerous. So in this way you can also make comparison. When you want to make the difference between two nouns, then you will use the previous formula, comparative plus then, and the next formula that I taught you, that less plus adjective plus then. But if there is no difference between the two nouns, then you will use this formula, as plus adjective plus as. Now proceed towards another comparative sentences. Now in this way comparison can also be made. Difference can be shown by using not as plus adjective plus as. If you want to show the difference between two nouns, you can use this formula as well. As, not as plus adjective plus as. Now these are examples. Mount blank is not as high as Mount Everest. Not as high. Not as plus adjective plus as. Not as plus high plus as. Mount blank is not as high as Mount Everest. It means Mount Everest is higher than Mount blank. Norway is not as sunny as Thailand. It means Thailand is sunnier than Norway. A bicycle is not as expensive as a car. Not as plus expensive plus as. A bicycle is not as expensive as a car. It means a car is more expensive than a bicycle. Or we can say that a bicycle is less expensive than a car. In this way we can also make the comparison in which we want to show the difference. This is another way of showing the difference. Shiraz is not as intelligent as Shehzad. Not as plus intelligent plus as. Now Shiraz is not as intelligent as Shehzad. It means Shehzad is more intelligent than Shiraz. Or we can also say that Shiraz is less intelligent than Shehzad. So in this way you can also show the difference between the two nouns. Now if we want to make a comparison of quantity, then we will use these formulas: more plus than. Quantity: she has more children than her friend. More plus than. And between these two words you can write any noun which is being compared. Fewer plus than. If you want to exchange this sentence into another words, you can say her friend has fewer children than her. Has fewer plus than, and the noun is written in between of these two words. This is the next formula: many plus than. She washed many plates than me. Many plus than, and these are nouns. Many plates. If we want to convert this sentence And we can use this formula, less plus than. How? I have washed less plates than her. Less plus than. So if you want to compare the quantity of the things, then you will use these formulas. More plus than. She has more children than her friend. Fewer plus than. Her friend has fewer children than her. Many plus than. She washed many plates than me. And less plus than. I have washed less plates than her. More and fewer. More and fewer. Many and less. These words can be used to make the comparison between the quantity of numbers, and then will be used to show the comparison. This is the way of making the comparison of quantity. Let's proceed towards the next thing. Okay, for comparison of quantity, to show no difference, use, if you want to make the comparison of quantity and there is no difference, you can use these formulas. As much as plus much plus as. Example, they have as much news as we have. As plus much plus as. They have as much news as we have. This is a noun. The second, as plus many plus as. How? We have as many customers as they have. As many plus as, and this is noun. We have as many customers as they have. The next one, as plus few as plus few plus as. Ali has as few books as Neelam. As plus few plus as. Ali has as few books as Neelam. The next one, as little plus as. Example, they have got as little water as we have. As plus little plus as. This is noun, and this is also noun. So this is the way of making the comparison between the quantity of nouns. As plus much plus as. Much is used for uncountable nouns. Many, it is used for countable nouns. Few, it is also used for countable nouns. Little, it is used for uncountable noun. And always remember that this much, many and few and little, these are all the first degree of adjectives which we use to show the difference, no difference between the quantity of nouns. So students, today we learned about the use of comparative adjectives to show the difference or no difference. So I think everything will be clear to you. If there is any question, you can ask. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.